What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? BizzyDad here, you there, checking out the latest round of spoilers from Force of Will's Legacy Lost, the new set that's coming out. And keeping with the theme and run of spoilers so far, we're going to look at more dual attribute. This time around, it is water and fire, little red and blue today. And let's just jump right into it. Our ruler is Sol, the Hierophant of the Helios Star. It's quite a mouthful. A 7 luminaries mage with a judgment of 1 red, 1 blue, and 1 of other. And so 3 seems to be the cost of every ruler we've seen so far. But again, they've been dual stone rulers, dual attributes, so 1 of each, and then 1 colorless has been the going rate so far. Energize again. If you don't go first, you get a coin or a token, so you can produce either red or blue. And here is mana. So we get a mana counter of 2 as the game starts. Put 2 mana counters on this card, and you can remove a mana counter to produce either red or blue. Spend this will only to play ancient magic cards. So if this is familiar to you, it's because it is the same exact approach that Mercurius and Mars from the last set do. And if you're into the Force of Will story, which I'm not, I don't really know the story in depth, but from what I read, Sol seems to be either the teacher or the master teaching Mars and Mercurius. So they're going to follow the same path as far as abilities, it seems. But what's nice is being able to use the mana counters for either red or blue. It seems to give him an edge early on, but let's pay the judgment cost and flip him over. He becomes Sol, the Dark Commander of Steam. Really good. I like the artwork. It's really cool. A Dark Commander, J Ruler, again, keeping the red and blue. The mana of 5. This card enters your field with 5 mana counters on it. So he starts the game with 2. And when he flips over into his J-Ruler side, he throws on 5 more. And as this card enters your field, you may remove a card named Runic Commander Demon Akiat in your hand from the game. And if you do, this card enters your field with 5 mana counters on it. So again, with the wording, just by doing Judgment and flipping over, Sol will get 5 mana counters. If you have the Commander Demon, the Akiat, in your hand and you remove it from the game, you get 5 more. So it's a way to get 10 additional mana counters. This card will gain +6/+6 as long as a card named the Runic Commander Demon Akiat is in your removed area and was removed by this card. So one glaring weakness, taking a look at Sol, is his attack and defense of 500, which is pretty weak. But if you have Akiat and you remove him from your hand from the game, he gets +6/+6. So he goes to 11/11, but no other skills, no other abilities like flying or pierce or anything like that. Pierce would have been cool to give to him, but he has nothing. And he keeps that ability to remove a mana counter and produce either red or blue, and spend this will only to play ancient magic cards. So his strength is the ancient magic and being able to access both red and blue ancient magic. There are a couple of pretty powerful spells from the previous sets that he will be able to take advantage of both. But as always, let's go into support and speak of the demon. If you get my drift, here is the Runic Commander Demon Akiat, 1 red and 1 blue to play, 600 attack or defense, which he's stronger than Sol off the bat. But when this card enters your field, you put a mana counter on your J-Ruler. So interesting and pretty nice. Just putting him into the field and you throw a counter on Sol. And when you play a chant, you may return this card to its owner's hand. So this makes him a pretty interesting buddy, like a ruler buddy. We know that Mars had Namblot, Mercurius has Azathoth. So Sol has Akiat, and he is pretty cool in the fact that when he comes out, he's going to give Sol or a mana counter on your J Ruler. You could definitely use him in other decks too, but I just keep associating him with Sol. But just by coming out, he puts a mana counter on him. And when you play a chant, you can return Akiat back to your hand. So little bit of deeper play, you could throw them out there to throw put a mana counter on Soul, then play any chant whatsoever, throw them back in your hand, and then flip Soul over, get rid of Akiat, put 10 counters instead of 5. So he's pretty versatile, and the artwork looks great too. Here is Twin-Headed Dragon, a 1 red, 1 blue, and 2 other to play 1,000 with flying. Look at the artwork. It's really cool. You may spend will to pay this card's awakening cost as though this card were an ancient magic. So there are 2 awakening costs with the dragon, 1 red and 1 blue. If you pay the red awakening, when this card enters your field, it deals 1,000 damage to target resonator. That is strong for just 1 additional awakening cost. If you pay the blue awakening, when this card enters your field, rest up to 2 target resonators. They don't recover during their controller's next recovery phase. So the 1,000 flying for 4 is pretty good on its own. There are 2 separate awakening costs that could be played, and an even bigger bonus, the awakening cost can be paid as if they're ancient magic, which means Soul's mana counters can be used to pay both awakening costs. So instead of paying 6 to get the full effect of Twin-Headed Dragon's Enter, you pay 4 and then use 2 mana counters off of Soul, and this is a really powerful card. Blast somebody for 1,000, rest 2 resonators. You could kill one of your opponent's resonators and rest the 2 others, and they don't even recover during the next phase, and now you have the dragon on the board who could fly and swing for 1,000. So really good card, and I really like how you could use the mana to pay for the awakening, because the awakening is the same as ancient magic. Here is Conjure Time Bomb, and I looked at this card, and I read it a few times before I recorded this video to make sure I have everything. So first of all, it is an ancient magic chant, so you can only do this on your turn, and it's 1 red and 1 other. But since this is ancient magic, we can use mana counters to pay this. Put a 100/100 Fire Bomb Resonator token with this text. At the beginning of your turn, banish this card. If you do, it deals 1,000 damage to your opponent and each J resonator your opponent controls. So that'll be the text on the Bomb Resonator token that you put into your field when you cast this chant. And so it's a 100/100 Fire Resonator that will explode. It's a bomb, so it's going to explode at the beginning of your next turn. So you pay the 2. You put this on. You pay the 2 to play the Conjure Time Bomb. You then put a token into your field, which would count as a 100/100 Fire Resonator with a Bomb Race. And the text would be at the beginning of your turn, you can banish the card, and if you do, it deals 1,000 damage to your opponent and each J resonator your opponent controls. So that is really strong and a really huge ticking time bomb, I guess you could say. And you don't have to do it at the beginning of your very next turn. It's a choice, so you can put it on the field and wait. But don't forget, in the end, it's still a 100/100 resonator. So once this thing hits the field, I'm sure your opponent's going to try to get rid of it immediately. But check out this awakening. For 2 red and 1 of other, the token will gain at the end of your turn, banish this card. And if you do, it deals 1,000 damage to your opponent and each J resonator your opponent controls. So you could pay 2 for the spell by itself, and you get the token. You won't be able to do the banishing and the exploding until the beginning of your next turn. But if you pay the additional 3 for awakening, so a total cost of 5, you could put the token into your field, and at the end of that turn, you can make it explode and blow up. Hit everybody on your opponent's side for 1,000 and hit your opponent for 1,000 too. So the fact that it is ancient magic means you can use mana counters to pay for everything here. You wouldn't have to use any of your stones if you didn't have them or if you didn't want to. It's a very interesting card. Again, just at first glance, I'd have to actually see it or play it, see how it is in a game, see everything. But just On the surface, it seems pretty interesting. I like it more than I don't like it, but I think the combination of this and the Invitation of Disaster from the Frozen Casket, if there's any way to just really bulk up the mana counters, you can end the game really quickly with cards like that. Rune of Soul is a quick cast chant that is ancient magic. So you could do this at any time. 1 red and 1 blue. Again, ancient magic, so you can use mana. Search your deck for an ancient magic, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is really good if you have the stones and you want to do it after you draw before recovery. Draw your card. If it's not what you're looking for, you want an ancient magic, you're ready to play an ancient magic, draw. You can always play this, get the card you want, put it in your hand, and then just go right for it. I also really like the artwork too. All of these cards with the red and blue, I just love the combination. It looks really good. This is a pretty useful card. Anytime that you can go get something that you need at any time, the quick cast makes it really good. Finally is our special magic stone, the magic stone of vaporization, and it looks amazing. I really like this one. This is probably the best special stone that we've seen so far in the spoilers. If your J ruler isn't soul, this card enters your field rested unless you pay 300 life. Again, I'm a huge fan of that. Treat this card as a fire magic stone and a water magic stone, so you can rest it to produce red or blue. Also, you could pay 1 and rest this to put a mana counter on your J rulers. So really cool to see that this stone will help you put mana counters on soul or any other J ruler that takes the mana counters. I really think it's interesting, and although I have Mars, I don't have the Mercurius deck just yet, so I really haven't used any ancient magic and mana counters to see how I liked it. I think that Soul is interesting in that he's powerful with his support. By himself, he's not that good, but with all the mana counters, with all the support, he could be really strong. And I like all the different ways to get counters on him, and then being able to use his mana for red and blue is also good too. So let me know what you think with a comment below. That was actually it. That was the last card. So do you like it? Do you hate it? Legacy Lost is keeping the form with the dual attributes, and we're just going to keep getting more spoilers along the way and see what other new rulers and abilities we can get. So guys, that is it. Thank you for a few minutes as always, and I'll talk to you soon.